Hello and welcome to the Collapse Experiment. So today I'm going to be discussing how to further your education on the cheap. Yes, these are axes. Yes, I'm going to go play lumberjack for a little bit out back because we had some birch trees that fell, some pine trees are thinning out. It's a younger area where the ones that are struggling root wise, they're all tall, but it's at the point where the root systems are all fighting amongst each other, blah blah blah. Yes, I'm chopping wood. So education, for one, use your local library. Can't stress this enough. It's your tax dollars. So Ray Bradbury, famous sci-fi writer, didn't go to college. Instead, he went to the library every day, 2 to 3 hours, reading, checking out books. And then after 3 or 4 years of that, he started writing short stories every day. A short story every day. 365 short stories in a year. Because he knew that if he just kept writing these short stories, for one or two of them might actually be pretty darn good. So this is what he did. Didn't go to college, used the library system instead. It also comes in handy with things like learning foreign languages. Perhaps you're looking to expand your resume and you want to have something on there that helps you stand out, like maybe you're fluent in Spanish or German or French. You don't want to put your high school years on there because, let's face it, how many of you out there actually learned a foreign language in high school? If there was one useless class they could get rid of, it'd probably be that. Considering it is also not the time for anybody to learn a foreign language. And quite frankly, it's probably not the best way to go about doing it either. So no, you can go to your public library and they're going to have a foreign language section where you can get the Berlitz or the Pimsleur or whatever system it is you want to use and pick up some courses on that. I haven't had the best luck around here because I have been wanting to learn Japanese, which I have started to do today. So I've taken several different martial arts over the years, picked up some Japanese here or there. But as for furthering my education, I kept waiting for our local library to finally get a course on it because they've had everything else. Spanish, English for Spanish speakers, yeah, that's available. German, French, Hebrew. Do you think they have Japanese? No, but they had Mandarin Chinese available. Not even the same thing, right? Not even close. So anyways, I ended up buying a set off of eBay. Again, another cheap tip here. Because if you look up different language courses, you're going to find that they cost quite a bit of money. And you cannot get them on CD anymore. It's all subscription services and log into our website, which doesn't do you any good at all. Me, what I'm doing is I have 4 trips into town per day. Each trip is roughly 20 to 30 minutes, depending on traffic and the weather, which means I can get about 2 hours of listening in. Now, I've been using that for audiobooks lately, and now I'm switching over to foreign languages. So that is how I am utilizing my time. Other methods of expanding your education. on the cheap. Hobbies. Learning how to do things on your own. Now, granted, a lot of this, none of this is going to give you like a degree, a certification. And let's be honest here, a lot of the people who go to these certification places, ooh, you know what I'm talking about. Really, what the did you learn there for $9,000? Well, I learned how to spend $9,000. So, you can, on your own, get books on how to do all kinds of cool stuff. Cabinetry work, wood shop, simple woodworking stuff if that's what you want to do. There's also home improvement, home maintenance books that you can get that'll have basic electrical, basic plumbing, roofing, siding, fixing a floor, installing a sink. I mean, a lot of that stuff is in there. And hell, sometimes you can even learn how to fix appliances, which thanks YouTube. It's another tip right there. Learning stuff on YouTube, which you are currently doing now. Yeah, go on to YouTube because there's guys out there, whether it is your car, your dryer, your washing machine, basically anything that is in your house. Some dude out there was like, I'm gonna make a YouTube video on that. Came in handy when my dryer decided that the pulley was gonna go out and the belt was just rubbing. And I'm really surprised that the belt just didn't snap. Because that pulley, the one that stopped working, was worn down. And that belt was just digging into it. And it was squeaking. I was doing that non-stop. But I was able to get in there. I was able to switch that sucker out, get it all replaced. I think it was like 15 bucks. But you know what? I now know how to fix at least that portion of a dryer. Constantly reading. Now, this doesn't just go for your library. This goes for different things like thrift books. Thriftbooks.com. No, I am not sponsored by Thrift Books, but I use Thrift Books all the time. And I mean, they were one of my first ads when I got monetized on here, so that was kind of cool. Didn't even have to ask them. But no, I am on Thrift Books all the time. The prices you just can't beat. They have a very, very decent selection, considering that a lot of the stuff that I am usually hunting down is out of print and old, which means that it's usually on there for a reasonable price, which is another bonus. So yeah, Thrift Books. There's some good stores on eBay as well when it comes to buying books, audiobooks. If you are looking to expand your knowledge, but you prefer audiobooks, this is going back to your local library where they have Hoopla, Libby, if your library has the budget for it. And you simply put in your library card number. It'll say what your library has available for you, and you can start checking out audiobooks, along with digital copies of books that your library might not have. If you prefer to read on your phone, I guess it would just be on your phone. Some people are into that. So yeah, your library, audiobooks, because I looked into Audible one time. It just took the one time, and I was like, nope, that's just never going to be a thing for me. Super expensive. Couldn't understand the pricing. So wait, I spend this much and I only get, ooh, and that doesn't even include everything? Are they out of their damn minds? Yes, clearly Audible is out of their damn mind. And there's only one book on there that I've ever wanted to check out, and it's only available on on Audible, of course. But you know what? I'll wait. I'll keep waiting. I'll wait for the bootleg. I'll wait for them to finally expand to like some physical format, which will probably never happen. Let's face it, at this point, them backtracking to releasing anything into a physical format like CDs, good luck. No, there's I wouldn't say college classes. That's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that you can teach yourself. And in some ways, teaching yourself things can actually be more beneficial than, say, taking a class. There's a guy that I work with in IT, needs to take a class in something, and he was talking about it at work. He's like, yeah, it's $1,000 a credit hour. And I'm like, how many credit hours is this class? So yeah, he's looking at like $2,000 to $3,000 to take a class to learn something for his IT. And I'm thinking to myself, I knew a guy, and it could be totally different, but I knew a guy who got hired at one of the universities, one of the colleges. I know there's difference, but I'm blue collar. It all seems the same shit to me. So he got hired at one of the local colleges back in the day because they were trying to find somebody who could teach a course with some type of computer programming. And it didn't matter like who they interviewed. Didn't matter the college degree, how many years they went for computer engineering, sciences, programming, whatever the hell their degree was. They could not find anybody who could actually teach this damn class. So this guy, he knew it. How did he know it? He was bored at home on his computer and decided, I'm going to learn fill in the blank. So he shows up, and basically his interview was him showing them how to run and program and do all the things that they were looking for somebody to teach. So he ends up teaching them, gets the job. Now, I know that doesn't apply to everybody or everything, but keep in mind that if you are, like so many people in this world, stuck in your job and you want out and you don't want to go back to school because, quite frankly, either you don't have the time, you don't have the money, probably both. It's probably a combination of both. You do have options to slowly expand your horizons and your knowledge on whatever it is that you want to do. And you can do it fairly affordable and using the time that you have available in order to do that. So for me, currently, I've got a lot of projects going, but this whole learning Japanese, that's going to be my car ride during the day. So that'll be going on for a while. Considering the number of CDs I have to go through, and according to Pimsleur, you should know at least 80% of the things that we go over before you go on to the next thing. It could be a while. but I have the time. I might as well utilize it. It's bought and paid for. All I have to do is actually do it. Now, there's other hobbies, there's other professions, like, for example, people who go to art school. And I'm going to throw in these literary degrees too. I'm also going to tack on philosophy because I know of a guy. I don't know him. We've had a few little chit chats here and there online. But Chad, what is his name? Is it Chad A. Craig? Anyways, there's a guy, for some reason I am blanking on his name at the moment, but he lives in India. He does a lot of videos on philosophy. Brilliant dude. Dropped out of college early on because he realized that the philosophy degree that he was going to school for, they weren't really covering anything he hadn't already read himself. And he was like, why do I need a degree to do philosophy when they're not even teaching me anything beyond what I already know? There are certain things where you either just do it, or you can go ahead and read it on your own and learn for yourself. And you don't need a teacher to do it. Literary degree. Well, how many of these literary classes do they just read snippets from different books? They don't even actually read the book, right? We're going to read this chapter from the Scarlet Letter. You're not going to read the Scarlet Letter? You're getting a degree in this. You're supposed to know about all these different aspects of American literature or British literature or modern lesbian dance literature. Like, and you're not going to actually read the books. That's one thing that's been coming up with a lot of these like Harvard professors and Yale and all these different prestigious schools where they're like, we're getting students who have never actually read a book before. But they have these degrees and they're supposed to cover all this material, and yet the students are not covering the material. I knew a guy that he traveled around a lot, didn't go to college, lived a very, very simple life in his 20s. Drove around in a van. His entertainment was the radio and whatever books he had in the back. When he met his wife later on, she was very educated, went to universities and whatnot. And he's at this party, and her friends are trying to introduce her to all these other guys, accountants, business majors, you know. Oh no, you don't want to talk to him. And she's like, he's actually read the brothers Karamazov, and he actually knows Dostoevsky, and he actually knows all the things that I've read. Yeah, but he, you know, when I met him, he was like a wine cook. But no, he never stopped reading, and therefore he could actually hold a conversation with the woman he ended up marrying and having 2 kids with. So, can stuff like this pay off? Yep. So you don't want to just stop and accept whatever it is that you're doing. That's something that I learned early on. And yes, if you've been following this channel, but dude, you're stuck in like a $12 an hour job for like 14 years. Yeah, I was, and I got myself out of it. And you know what? If I was to go back to that city today and walk into that place that I used to work, I guarantee you I will run into somebody, probably a few people, who I used to work with back then, who are still there today. And the last time I talked to any of them, which was 2020, they were all ecstatic about how they finally raised their pay grade to $13 an hour. So stuff like this does pay off. Never stop reading, never stop expanding your mind. If you want to learn a foreign language, it's very easy to do. You don't have to take a college course to do it. Essentially, you go to an employer and they say in your resume, hey, we see here that you speak Spanish. You start speaking Spanish. Like, are they going to expect you to have like some type of like, well, we see that you have a 4th level degree in modern Spanish and linguistics and Spanish literature. Oh, is that what we need here? No, you just want somebody who speaks Spanish. Come on. I mean, I know how this works. A very beneficial tool. So yeah, a lot of the stuff that these places are selling are essentially worthless, right? A lot of it is just stuff you can do on your own. You want to be a writer, read a lot of books. If you want to be a certain specific type of writer, I like to write sci-fi. Read a lot of sci-fi along with everything else. Not just specifically sci-fi, because then your stuff is going to sound like all the other sci-fi that is out there. No. Read a whole bunch of different crap. Because you might come across something that you have not seen in a sci-fi novel, and it could end up being a very interesting story that sets you apart from the rest of the genre. Altered Carbon. Altered Carbon was a great freaking novel. Great sci-fi novel. And I'm not even talking about the TV series on Netflix. No. I read that probably 6-7 years before the series was ever released. Mind-blowing. Never read anything like that before. Dude came up with a whole bunch of different stuff, threw it into his novel, well thought out. There's cheap ways to do this. And it's not even the cost, right? It's really putting in the time and the effort. And that's what you need to do. That is why I tinker around with nootropics. That is why I try to utilize my time the best I can. And some people would argue that currently, right now, what I'm doing is not utilizing my time. However, this video will be up on YouTube. And it will be up on YouTube until it is taken off of YouTube. Which means, yes, I spend, what is the current time here? 25 minutes making a video, in which case it is simply uploaded later. No manual work. I press some buttons on here and it gets uploaded. And all the work is done afterwards, where it sits on the internet until somebody watches it. And another person watches it. And 3 years from now, somebody else watches it. Utilizing your time. I mean, if there couldn't be a more passive form of income than YouTube, let me know. Because I would be interested. In the meantime, if you have any other ideas on cheap ways to expand your education and knowledge on certain things that can improve your life, drop it in the comment section and I'll probably share it in the future. Till then, keep on typing.